Okay, Deputy Neville.
Thank you, Claire. Look, just from the outset, for transparency purposes, I'd like to inform the committee that obviously I'm a director of a non-for-profit community childcare facility. My question again is around the rural aspects of this. I very much welcome this, first of all. As was mentioned already, it's a shift. It's not alone to help parents, but obviously in relation to broader economic terms, is to facilitate people who need to get out, who need to find work and get work and get back to work. It's around those rural facilities. If this is going to be looking at centralising childcare or moving people to the bigger centres, because I know from my own experience a lot of the rural childcare facilities have been set up in order to be feeders to the local schools and keep the local schools running, and that's the real conduit in rural Ireland, is to keep that, because obviously if we can continue that and provide that service, the schools will stay open. The automatic psychology is that it will become a feeder for the school. That's not the only reason they're there, but that's a knock-on effect, and obviously that breathes life back into the area. The second thing is around qualifications, and if I'm off the point, Chair, you can flag me on this. It's around qualifications. Obviously there's particular qualifications there. Is there any thought within the department in relation to people who would have maybe considerable experience in childcare? And I'm talking a long amount of experience, that may not have the specific qualifications that are outlined in the department, but may have other qualifications that might be health related. Have the department looking at maybe broadening the spectrum of this and taking into the fact that these people would have long-term experience, that some sort of top-up exam would be done, or some sort of assessment exam would be done in relation to their experience, because particularly in rural areas, you're talking about very, very small childcare facilities here. For somebody with an extremely long service in childcare, having to go back, look at the exams, do that, and the pressure that puts on the business, maybe having to hire someone with those qualifications to come in and look after the business, is oftentimes it's just not viable, commercially viable, but also the actual extra workload that they have to take on in relation to it. So I'm just asking, is there any thoughts around that? Because we have seen with the launch of apprenticeships last week that we're looking at vocational experience type roles, that if there's any thought process around that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Deputy.